What's up, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and last Saturday, Jack Della Maddalena beat Bilal Muhammad to become the new welterweight champion. And Jack looked incredible in that fight. He looked like one of the best fighters in the world. I mean, his striking was on point. He was controlling the distance, controlling the octagon very well. His footwork looked incredible. He had unbelievable shot selection and accuracy. And obviously, his ground game looked great as always, and he was able to nullify Bilal's approach and his game plan. And that was a career best performance from JDM. And now he's got a whole division full of contenders that are exciting, but I feel like he has the skills to beat all of them. And in this video, I want to go through the top welterweight contenders that he could potentially fight. Also with Islam Makhachev, because we know that he's going to move up, and I want to rank them from who has the lowest to the highest chance of beating JDM. And the fighters in question are going to be Islam Makhachev, Sean Brady, the winner of Kamaru Usman, and Joaquin Buckley, Ian Gary, and Shavkat Rakhmonov. With that being said, let's get into who I think has the lowest chance of beating JDM, and that's going to be Sean Brady. And the reason why I have him so low is because he is really good everywhere, but he mainly shines with his grappling, and that's where he's very dangerous. But I feel like JDM is getting better. He is really good everywhere, and he's one of the best anti-grapplers in the sport right now. And his next fight is most likely going to be against Islam Makhachev, and if he does in fact get past Islam, then I don't really see what Sean Brady could really do to him or what problems he can do. And we've already seen what Sean Brady did with high-low grapplers like Gilbert Burns and Bilal Muhammad, and we know that Sean Brady's striking isn't as good as some of the other guys in the weight class. He did get TKO'd by Bilal, and we saw how Bilal was getting pieced up by JDM. So I don't really see what Sean Brady could do, and I feel like JDM could get a knockout over Sean Brady. Overall, I would give him a 30% chance of beating JDM. But then moving on to someone who has a higher chance of beating JDM, and that's going to be the winner of Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. I think that firstly, let's start with Kamaru Usman. I think he has a better chance of beating JDM than Sean Brady because firstly, I think he's a better striker than Sean Brady. He's got better fundamentals. He's got a lot more power, and he's got more experience fighting more dangerous strikers than Sean Brady. And he also has the wrestling that is there. I don't see him getting many takedowns against JDM, but that is an option. And whereas Joaquin Buckley, he's very explosive. He's very powerful on the feet. He's got a variety of attacks. And if he gets past Kamaru Usman, I mean, that is a really good win, and that's really good experience. And also, he's faced different type of boxers out there. Like he did fight a guy like Chris Curtis, a powerful southpaw, not really similar to JDM, but he has been in there against a lot of fighters. He has a lot of experience, and I think he's a much better striker than Sean Brady. And his power and his diversity on the feet, I feel like could give JDM more problems than a guy like Sean Brady. Ultimately, I would give them a 35% chance at beating Jack Della Maddalena. Someone who has a higher chance of winning is going to be Ian Machado Gary. And that's because he just gets better every time he goes out there and he has a fight. I mean, he looked good against Shavkat. He looked good against Carlos Prates. He's taking on these dangerous guys in the weight class, and he's staying active. And like I said, he's just getting better, and that's one of his best weapons. But also his style of striking, where he's able to stick and move, I could see that giving problems to JDM. We haven't really seen him go up against a guy like that, and also a guy who's going to be mixing in those kicks as well, because I feel like JDM is open to those leg kicks, even body kicks. And we know that Gilbert Burns injured JDM's forearm with a powerful kick, so Ian Gary could go to that. And also, he does have the grappling, so I could see Ian Gary giving some problems to JDM, and I would give him a 40% chance of winning. And then someone who has a higher chance of winning, in my opinion, is going to be Shavkat Rakhmonov. I feel like Shavkat is very dangerous. Obviously, he can finish you on the ground, on the feet. He's got a lot of weapons and attacks, and he is pretty powerful too, to be fair. And I feel like he could give some problems to JDM. He is going to be aggressive with the striking and the grappling. And also, he's got a pretty good clinch game to give some problems to JDM in there too. But I feel like JDM would potentially knock him out. So I would give Shavkat maybe a 43% chance of beating JDM. And the fighter who I think has the best chance of beating JDM is going to be Islam Makhachev. Islam obviously has fought some of the best strikers in the UFC, and I think he is one of the best strikers in the UFC. But no, not only that, but he's one of the best grapplers in the UFC. I think he's got better control time than Bilal Muhammad. He's got better striking than a lot of these guys, but also defensively, he is very good. And I could see him giving a lot of problems to JDM, but at the same time, is he going to be too small for JDM? How is he going to deal with the power, the scrambling ability of a guy like JDM? It's a very interesting fight, but I would give Islam Makhachev a 50% chance of winning that fight. Because although Islam is great, JDM does have the ability to train with Volkanovski, who's been in there with Islam twice. And also he's going to be working with Craig Jones, who's been helping a lot of these guys from Australia and New Zealand to level up their grappling, to be able to really compete and outclass some of these guys who are supposed to be dominant on the floor. So it's going to make that match very interesting. But obviously Islam Makhachev is the best fighter in the world for a reason. But this is going to be the hardest fight of his career, in my opinion. And I think right now, yeah, it's a very even fight, but I might ultimately end up leaning towards JDM. But like I said, you can't count out a guy like Islam Makhachev. But let me know who you think has the best chance of beating JDM. Thank you guys for watching. God bless, and I'll see you next one.